And then following that, you can find her under this tent where she will be available for any of you to talk to about anything, any of the children that have any questions. If you have any questions, we are so fortunate enough to have her with us here today. And I don't want to sound kind of funny saying this, but let's use her. Let's use her knowledge to gain strength and acceptance within our community. So again, thank you for coming out, and I'm going to turn the mic over here to Charlotte Nolin.
Miigwetch, can I ask him Tanse, Bozu, Tanshe. Good morning, my relatives. It's an honor for me to be here. As I mentioned to some of the staff, that I've driven through Dryden so many times because I travel a lot, and I had never stopped in Dryden. And I'm certainly glad that I decided to come to this. It's a beautiful little community that you have here. And you know, as we go through life, we learn about Canada. We learn about the peoples of Canada. And today we are celebrating the Two-Spirit community, 2S LGBTQIA+ here in Dryden. And it's an honor for me to be here. Natawi na, say my too. Can I ask him to? Mom, can I ask him to? Kokum now, Mosum now. Can I ask him to? Kiganao, ski. Can I ask him to? Ni we ma gun is great imitation. Equa, Wapiski, who is square. Equa, a sniper squamisos. Equa, Pipte Masqua. Our Creator, grandmothers, grandfathers, I give thanks for this day. I give thanks for the gift of life and the blessings of creation. I give thanks to Muslim Pisum, who's shining brightly on us today. I give thanks for Kokum Pisum, who carries that balance in us. I give thanks to Kiganawski, our grandmother, who provides food and medicines for us and shares our four-legged relatives, the winged ones, those that swim and those that crawl. I give thanks to Miigwetch and Kokumnao Mosumnao Asne. And I ask your Creator, grandmothers, grandfathers, bless all of my relatives here today. Keep them safe, keep them healthy. If I've forgotten anything, Creator, please accept them in my silent prayers. Mitakwe Ase, Gaganao Kumakanak, Tutbaparante, all my relations. My relatives, as I look around and I see the bright colors, I see the beautiful smiles that you share with one another. I see our little ones who are learning. I see our youth who are becoming themselves. I'm a product of the infamous 50 scoop or 60 scoop. It started in 1951. In my family, there were 6 of us that were taken away. And me being the youngest, I was only 6 months of age. 2 of my older brothers were in residential school. Me and one of my sisters, we were in a day school. I was there for 6 years. And then I spent 19 years as a ward of the government. Today I walk loud and proud of who I am as a Two-Spirit. Tastawiniyao tipimiswak, Two-Spirit Métis Elder. You know, the history of Canada has been hidden for so many years, and it's just starting to come out. When we think of the little ones they found in Kamloops, the 215, and subsequently all the other ones they found to date, out of 150 schools, they've only looked at 35 of them, and the numbers are climbing. We received a report this week that Sagin, they found 190. Blue quills, they found 200. And we know those numbers are going to go up as time goes and they do more explorations. You know, we spoke about truth and reconciliation for the last 5 years or so. And now the truth is coming out. The history of Canada is coming out. In order to reconcile as a nation, it's up to each and every one of us to begin that reconciliation within ourselves. The truth is coming out. The schools are speaking about the history of Canada. And I'm so happy. In 1990, Dr. Myra Lennermy was fasting at the legislative buildings in Winnipeg when she received this vision. And they explained to her that you walk with two spirits, the male and female spirit. And they gave her the name, Nej Manitoba. And the term two spirit was coined. And it's strange how we learn about ourselves. I was in BC at a sweat lodge the day that it came out. And the old ones, they shared with me, this is who you are, be proud. And I announced that in a sweat lodge to my relatives. I'm two spirit. Be two spirit means many things to many people. As Indigenous people, we recognize that two spirit has been in our communities since time began. Due to other nations coming here, other religions coming here, we were forced to go into the shadows, to be excluded from everything, to be looked down upon, to be harmed. Today, we all stand proud and loud, and we let our relatives know who we are. I've shared with our young two-spirit people in Winnipeg that for me, being two-spirit is not a physical thing. It's not a mental thing. It's not an emotional thing. It's a spiritual thing. Creator gave me the gifts I walk with. Historically, some of our people were caregivers, that if a couple was to pass away, that the children would be looked after and raised by the two-spirit people of that community. We were carriers of ceremony, the sweat lodge, the pipes, sun dances. And next year in Manitoba, we're going to hold the first two-spirit Sundance, the first of its kind in Canada. I was at a two-spirit gathering outside of Winnipeg in 2018, and as I'm walking towards the sacred fire where there was about 60 people gathered on the last day there, I walked up and I picked up my eagle fan. My relatives, I have some to share with you. And my sister Barbara was sitting beside me. I said, as I walked from the lodge to the fire here, they shared with me these two words, it's time. They repeated those two words 4 times before I got to the fire. And I said, some of you have known me for many years, and I've been the sun dancer for 18 years at the time. I said, it's time for me to lead our people in Sundance, to have our own two-spirit Sundance led by two-spirit people, for two-spirit people and allies. One of the blessings I've received from the old ones is that we never shut the door to anyone. In our sweat lodges, everyone is welcome. In our Sundance, everyone will be welcome. As this day goes by, please stop by over there if you have questions. I'll be glad to answer them, be glad to share. And I want to wish you the happiest day of 2022 to share with your relatives in the joy of the 2S LGBTQIA community. These are your children. Value them, respect them, acknowledge them, and help them grow so that as they reach adulthood, they'll do the same for their children. We are no longer in the shadows. We come out. We celebrated Pride in Winnipeg last Sunday after 2 years of not being able to. And let me tell you, it was loud, it was proud. We had over 30,000 people that attended. The streets were lined up as we drove by with our floats. That day, I did teachings with the children and anybody that wanted to come and listen. We had brought our big powwow drum and we got the children to come and sit with us and learn the songs, hear the stories. Those children went away so happy at the end of the day. In my 71 years, I've watched this country transform for what it used to be. I remember being that age, and if I would have said I was two-spirit at that time, chances are I wouldn't be here today. That's how racist Canada was at that time. I knew that being a ward of the government, that I was different. And it was funny because the day school I attended was for Rosa River. And over the years, I got to meet some of the people I went to school with, Charlie and Terry Nelson, Lawrence Henry, a Sundance chief. And I was at a gathering a couple of years ago, and I was sitting down with Lawrence, and he says, "Aren't you that little white boy that lived across the river and got in trouble all the time?" I says, "Yeah, that was me." I says, "Today, I walk as a woman, my true self." And I encourage the parents, the caregivers of the young ones, help them in their journey so that they can thank you later on, so that their children will thank you, their grandchildren will thank you. So enjoy yourself today, enjoy the good food, enjoy the company, enjoy the music, because I was listening to the guys practicing this morning. Oh my God, we're back in the 60s. So I want to thank you all. Miigwetch, Kinanaskamtin, Marcy, merci, thank you. Have a good day and enjoy.
Miigwetch.